Football then and now, a fun look at football nostalgia and the modern game intertwined. Join us. Football then and now, a fun look at football nostalgia and the modern game intertwined. Join us.
This is Football then and now, and this.
Stuart, you're not even on the show and you feel like you're taking over. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. It sort of played itself again and then Stuart appeared. Yeah, Stuart's back on Thursday for the United and City game with Danny and Andy. So ignore that with his voice disappeared. I think he was talking about the preview of last season with that one then. I have no idea. Fuck knows. But we're here. We're against Braids. We are talking Everton, Villa, Bramley Moore Dock. I will not call it the Bruce Dickinson Stadium. Window's closed. We've just done an episode on the window. We know what players are in. We know what we've got. We're a completely different ball game now. There's no Goodison. There's no that history now at Goodison where it was Ashley Young's dimension 3-2 scoreline, sitting in the bedroom watching that with you and pretty much putting Andy van der Meijden tops on, and the classic FIFA games we had when we used to play against each other with Everton and Villa, and some goals.
Ashley Young, Phil Neville, every time.
Oh yes, and Joseph Yobo as well. Don't forget.
Yeah.
And John Carew being a pain in the arse, if I remember rightly. Bommel Hall like scoring past us, and they were always good games. We're only looking 12 months ago. We were at Goodison, but I look as a Goodison as a whole, as us growing up watching Everton and Villa against each other. We were always close in between as clubs in historicness, but the games were interesting. Home and away.
Especially one that's just popped into my head was, and we watched it. I think we watched it at your house. Milan Barros.
Oh, is that when you beat us 4-0 and you cheated? The only time Per Coldrup played, and Per Coldrup was like 6 foot. Barros was like 5'9", and he handballed it over him just to get the fucking head in. Yeah, I remember that. We absolutely were terrible that season, and that I think was the season we got dumped out the Champions League and the UEFA Cup. I think that was 2005 season, that, if I can remember rightly, because we got
because we bought Milan Barros off Liverpool after him having a good Euros campaign. I think it was.
He did have a good Euros
in the summer.
With Juan Pablo Angel, what a player he was in his day.
Yeah. Still a big Villa fan, still comes to the games. Was one of the reasons why we end up signing John
Duran. What a fuck up he's made.
Now at Fenerbahce, who we get to play in the Europa League next season.
So you can politely remind him where he came from. If he doesn't score a goal from 60 yards, that's his thing. But again, that was another one at Villa Park last season where we were better in the first half.
I still say, and we still say it's this, that you should have won that game.
Yeah, well, Calvert-Lewin's missing chances left, right, and centre, and again, he saw it at his debut for Leeds in the Cup. Obviously,
Villa Everton still the longest running top flight.
It is
game, even if we were out of the Premiership for 2 seasons.
Yeah, well, you know what, that was a weird one. I remember, when we watched Villa Newcastle, and Gareth Barry was the goal that relegated Newcastle that season, and we were watching it at mine, and it was one of them where it was surreal seeing a team like Newcastle get relegated.
Yeah.
For the amount of time they've been in the Premier League from the establishment of the Premier League. So then seeing you go down, and you went down like that season, it was just dreadful, awful football. But thanks for addressing Gay, by the way.
who at that point was second behind N'Golo Kante in Europe for the most. I think it was the most tackles, duels won, everything. For
Still there,
the
though, mate.
defensive
Still there.
midfielder role, those two were pound for pound two of the best in Europe, if not the world. I think it was. And yeah, you got him for
$6 million.
I was going to say it was only
Yeah, he
cheap
had
that
a
you ran
clause.
for, wasn't it?
Yeah, he had a relegation clause.
Yeah,
But that was horrible to see. You know, considering the amount of times that we've watched Everton Villa together, and then to see a free fall so badly, and then he disappeared. And you know, you've been almost there on several occasions of my lifetime. More recently on a very couple of close shaves. But I do feel like that is now in the rear view mirror.
yeah.
I don't worry about that now, unless some flipping asteroid out of space comes in, literally obliterates everything, which you can do, by the way. It's not a thing that can't happen. But I do feel like the games against Villa have always been stress, frustrating, and I hate seeing your smirky fucking face every time that you score a last minute goal. And just like, get out my house now, please. Don't want to see your face. But they were
Well,
always.
I was talking to an Everton fan today that I know, and we were talking. We had a quick chat about the game, and he said, "Oh, what do you think is going to? How do you feel about the game this weekend?" And I said, "Everton will do us." I just think with the confidence that you've got. I mean, we touched on it in the transfer show before. Grealish, the way that he's playing. I mean, I would have loved to have seen Jack Grealish come back to us. I would have loved for us to thrown the wages at him over Jadon Sancho, just because Grealish is Mr. Villa. He's Villa
Yeah,
through and through.
definitely, absolutely.
I mean, yeah, he said that he loves City. It's one of the best clubs he's ever played for. But he has always said he would love to come back to Villa.
This is what I'm going to ask you. How is it you didn't go in for him?
I don't know whether
That
he just didn't
surprises
fit
me.
the style of play that Emery wants, or there was a stumbling block somewhere. I mean, a lot of Villa fans would have loved him back at the club. There's a lot of fans that think he did Villa over by leaving us to go to City, but a lot of them forget that the summer before he signed a new contract which had the 100 million buyout clause in there, which then pushed us on to get a lot of the players that we've got or have had and moved on,
Mm-hmm.
and helped us secure our place back in the Premiership. A lot of players you won't see them do that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he always said he wanted to win titles, he wanted to play in the Champions League. Was he going to be able to do it with Villa at the time? No.
Not at that point, no.
No. And when somebody like City and Pep Guardiola come calling, I don't know a lot of players that would have said no to that.
No, I totally agree. I think he left at the right time for himself and for you.
Yeah.
You know, because you didn't use the 100 million straight away.
No.
Obviously, I wouldn't have left it in Steven Gerrard's fucking hands because he's a grade A, lovely guy, not. But you know, you did get Emery in the end, and you've seen, you know, what he is capable of doing. Obviously, this window hasn't been fantastic for you due to circumstances that we hate having a conversation about because it shouldn't even be a conversation, and it still shouldn't be a conversation. So I say,
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of people say that Villa have had a bad window, but they did a lot of stuff in the background, like Tyrone Mings and Luca Digne. They signed new contracts with a lower wage to help the club.
Mm.
John McGinn, he's going to be offered a new contract with the same. It's a lower wage, but there's bonuses in there apparently that'll boost them. And a lot of the players that are being offered these new contracts are doing it because they love the club.
Yeah, which is great to see.
And I think with us not spending a lot this summer, it then adds to what we're going to be able to spend next summer and the summer after. I mean, we got round PSR by, and I don't care what anybody says, we copied the Chelsea blueprint and sold the women's team to one of our partner companies, one of our sister companies that owns the Villa Group. And it got us out of that mess. There's a lot of deals that that the board and the Villa directors and everybody have done that are going to improve revenue. I mean, there's a lot of sponsorship deals that are popping up here, there, and everywhere. There's talk about when we do the redevelopment on part of the stadium, it's going to still keep the same names, but then there's going to be a slight naming right to the stadium. Apparently, from what I've read in some clippings here and there throughout the internet and newspapers and things, apparently because of the deal that we've got with Adidas, apparently that's going to be a very long-term thing, that they've got first dibs on naming rights to Villa Park, but they said they would never want to take the name Villa Park away. So it'd still be Villa Park, but Adidas would be plastered everywhere, and there'd be... One person said it would be like Villa Park in association with Adidas.
It's not that bad, is it? You know what I mean?
It'd be something like that, because of the history of Villa Park and everything else. They've seen the way that some of the old great stadiums, Highbury for one, just get demolished. White Hart Lane, Upton Park, all these stadiums that have had great history have just dissolved into nothing, or have just been redone into something else. I mean, what yourselves are doing with Goodison Park, it's still in the Everton family because you've now got the women's team playing there.
Yeah.
And I think, have you got the under-21s and the under-18s playing there and the reserves?
I'm not 100% sure about the lads. Obviously, I know, you know what I mean, the ladies have been giving it for the Ladies Premier League. I know that it's been cut down now, so I think it's 30,000. I don't think it's 42 anymore. They've lowered it all from the top half now, so pretty much it's middle ground to bottom half. I'm not sure if the under-21s or the under-18s are playing or are still playing in Southport, but it would make more sense.
It would make more sense to move them into Goodison as well for the revenue side, for the upkeep. I mean, it just gives them, if they get 10, 15,000 fans in Goodison to go and watch them,
I'm sure they will, mate.
Just think about how much that's going to build them up in their confidence to push on to want to play at Bramley Dock, to play in front of... What's Bramley Dock? 52,000, is it?
52, yeah.
To play in front of 52,000 fans.
Should be more than 52, mind you, but that's a different conversation for another day.
Yeah, but you have got the chance of building it up even more.
Yeah,
but yeah, going back to the game this weekend, I think we're lacking in confidence at the moment. I mean, we haven't scored in the first 3 games. I think Everton so far, they've been a completely different kettle of fish to what it was last season.
Minus
I mean,
Leeds.
his goal on the weekend.
Brilliant.
I mean, that was for somebody who hasn't played pretty much any games last season. I think he was a bit part player in the cups for Chelsea last season.
I think he played more in Europe than he did in the
Yeah.
league.
For somebody to go from Chelsea where he basically wasn't needed, they didn't want him. Apparently, the manager only brought him there because he liked him at Leicester, but then decided he didn't like him for Chelsea, or he didn't fit in at Chelsea.
I know they didn't want him to go, Brady. The rumor, from what I've read and heard from people, is they didn't actually want him to go. It was his decision that he wanted to go.
Which I don't blame him, because, I mean, if you've got somebody, no disrespect to Everton, you know me,
Yeah.
I've always got a place in my heart for Everton. Going to being at Chelsea where you're gonna get bit part games, bit part time and bit part games, or go to somewhere like Everton where you're going to get more chance of game time because of the size of your squad and the players you had in at the time, the players that were leaving. I mean, he's basically gone in and replaced Decore, really, hasn't he, for the sort of position that he plays.
Yeah.
A place where the fans are going to see the talent of a player and build him up and love him. I mean, Jack Grealish has touched on it on some of his interviews. One of the reasons why he chose Everton was because of how family orientated it is and how the fans, because he saw it when he was at Villa playing against Everton, how the fans love players, and if they can see that they're having a bad game, they get onto him, but then afterwards they build them back up again. And I think for a player like Dewsbury Hall, who must have been low of confidence, going from the highs of what he had at playing at Leicester week in, week out, with some of the players that they had, to Chelsea where he couldn't get a sniff in. Even when Chelsea were playing poorly, he couldn't even get a sniff.
Yeah.
To go in somewhere like Everton where he's going to have a manager like David Moyes who's going to put his arm around him and say, look, you are a good player. You are going to start for me. If you're not playing to the standard that I want you to, you're going to get benched and you're going to have to work your way back in. But for him to just go straight into your starting 11, and I mean, I haven't seen a lot, the same as what the standard that you and Stewie would have seen of Everton so far this season. But from what I've seen of him, he's going to be a very good player for you. It's going to be very hard to get him out of your starting 11. For these players that are on the bench in that position, it's going to be very hard. And the same with the likes of Jack Grealish. It's going to be hard to dislodge him. And your midfield, I think your midfield is now set for, if you can get Jack Grealish signed permanently.
I don't know about that,
but if you could,
I wouldn't say no.
I think that's Everton's midfield for the next, I'd probably say 3-4 seasons.
The issue with this, right, is I think, being World Cup season, we've got him at the right time. He needed a change. Like I say, it's the World Cup season, isn't it? He wants to be back in that England squad. He wants to establish himself. He wants to remind people of the player he was. And, when we spoke about it on the transfer show we did previous, he wants to be the player that he played like Villa. He was allowed to go and free roam and change the game in different spots of the pitch, and which he has done in the games he's played. Like I say, we forget about Leeds. I don't know what happened at Leeds. I just don't think it was just wrong time for us. We just needed the right players in, and we just didn't have it at that point. But he is enjoying his football, and he's happy, and he's providing, and he's doing what he does, and doing it with those massive calves. Jeebus. And well, I mean, I see him more now. He obviously plays for us, so your eyes do literally avert to it. But he's class. He is down to earth. He gets it. He has.
Yeah.
He can easily come in with a big ego, coming from City, winning everything at City, and come into a lower club like us at the moment, because we are. And I mean, there's no way around it. We are at the moment where we are because of poor choices by chairmans. But obviously that's long gone now. The freaking group are in, and they've showed their intent this summer. Again, I will go back and say I wanted a right back, which would have completely made me happy. I am happy with the window. I know I didn't sound it in the transfer show, but I am happy with the window, and I am happy the players we got in. But we've been crying out for a right back for a long time, and it was just annoying me that wasn't ticked off. But there is January, and that will soon be it before you know it. But the players we have bought, and as you said, Dewsbury Hall wants to get an England team. Yeah, I think the midfield is bloody open for any decent midfielder that's English, because the England midfield is terrible. Jackie Grealish wants to spot back. Let's believe that.
Well, if Rashford can do it.
Well,
I mean,
yeah,
you look at Rashford. He didn't have a sniff at it when he was at United. Came to Villa, and he got back into the England squad. Did he play the other night? He started the other night, didn't he, for England?
I was watching Aliens Earth at the time, so I prioritised TV shows over watching England. Well, actually, any international team, if I'm honest with you, unless it's the World Cup.
I'm just saying a player who's lack of confidence, lack of playing time, get him playing like what Rashford did at Villa, can get you back into the England squad. With this being, like you said, with this being a World Cup season, is he going to do it just to get back into the England squad to get over to play in the World Cup? Is he going to use it as a stepping stone? Possibly, but Jack Grealish is just one of those. He just wants to play football.
You can tell that.
And I've always said Jack Grealish, for the way he plays, he's a modern player. For the way he is off the pitch, should have been playing in the 90s.
Yeah, he would love to in the 90s.
In the 80s or 90s.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, I mean, you look at Jack Grealish off the pitch. I mean, you look at what he did at the end of your game the other night, or the other day. He went and gave a shirt to a little kid. How many players do you really see doing that these days still?
Well, they're not.
I mean, he does it at the end of every game. He finds a fan of Villa, of City, or now of Everton that has been shouting his name through the game, or he's seen after the game, and he goes and gives him his shirt. I mean, was it a couple of seasons ago? He was with City. They were in the USA, and there was a lad in a Villa shirt, and he went over and just signed it.
It's good for him, though, and it reminds him of that good
time. Yeah.
Sign.
And I think with the players that you've got, with the confidence that they've got from, I go back to Grealish and Dewsbury Hall, with these players coming in and with the confidence and the happiness that they're playing with, I am genuinely, with the confidence that we've got at the moment, which is it's still low, I'm afraid of playing you this weekend.
Maybe going forward, Brady. Going back is what's frightening for me, because I don't, as much as Michael Keane, he does a good job. He does a good job. Not someone I'd want on the pitch every week in, week out. Absolutely not. Nowhere near the pitch week in, week out. But unfortunately, our other centre defenders playing right back are, Jared Bramford's only just stepped up his training after injury. Mikolenko.
Yeah, I think as they said, end of September for him back, start of October. I think I saw.
Yeah, I think probably in the next 2-3 weeks you'll see him. Mikolenko's very, I don't know what's happening. Injury terms is struggling and looked completely asleep. Even though I know he set up a goal, the first goal for Beto, the header from Grealish onto Beto. His defensive work was dreadful, and normally I'd say Mikolenko's defensive work's better than his attacking. Anzu obviously hasn't had the chance yet. There's a young lad that we're looking at the future with, who we bought from Bayern. But it's a hard one to throw in against, a club like yourself who hasn't played a game of the Premier League as such yet. It's just your attacking wise, and I look at like what you can do to our back line. Jake O'Brien has done a great job at right back, considering he's not a right back.
Yeah.
But you're looking at what you have on the wings that can quickly turn around on ours. Tarky is a bully. Tarky will get in front of everyone. He'll block everything. But having a defender next to him who is very erratic, Michael Keane, and I think that's the plainest I can put Michael Keane. He's very erratic.
Yeah.
And you've seen when we played you last season, and Michael Keane and Tarky at the back, and the mistakes he made, not letting Ollie Watkins beat him for a header, and Michael Keane's bigger than Ollie Watkins. You should, using that height to get rid of the ball, but Ollie Watkins jumping over him, to score the header, make it 2-1.
Yeah,
and he goes to sleep. The goal against Wolves, the first goal we conceded, was he fell asleep. Mikolenko's fault for the second one. He fell asleep. This is my worry is okay, going forward is a whole different ball game. We've got players that can hurt you, and we've got players that can come off the bench and can hurt you. But going back, it worries me if Michael Keane, Mikolenko are having a dreadful game, or Jake O'Brien can, like I said, he's not a right back and he can struggle up against your winger. It's very difficult. It's what worries me, and I think we haven't got the players defensively to catch up with how good we are going forward now. Where you would say Everton defensively was fantastic, and we were always up there with clean sheets against with most clubs. But now we're fully ammunition to go forward and hurt you.
Yeah, especially with our back. The one thing that's scaring me a bit, obviously, with the forward lines and midfield that you've got going into this game, and the defensive part of ours and the goalkeeper. I mean, is he going to start with Martinez in goal?
That's my question. Yeah,
I think he will.
He's got to, hasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, you see it all over social media. All these Villa fans and everybody saying, I want him out of my club, blah, blah, blah. Well, you haven't got a chance of getting him out of the club now. Not until at least January. And not being funny, how do you know that he hasn't listened to the wrong advice from the wrong people?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, he signed with new management company last season, I think it was. How do you know they haven't been in his ear? Oh, well, if you go to them, then you get a bit more money. You've got a chance of this. You've got a chance of that. You don't know if somebody's been in his ear. I mean, his wife last season, at the end of last season, during the summer, she went on a radio show and said that he doesn't want to leave. She just opened up a shop in the area, and why would she want to up and move all that and move her kids when they're settled and everything? And this 20 to 25 million price tag getting thrown around for a World Cup winner, a goalkeeper that's won best goalkeeper in the world twice in a row. Yeah, he's 32, but that for goalkeepers, yourself, that for a lot of goalkeepers, that's their prime.
Yeah, you're at your peak, your early 30s, I'd say 30 to 35, aren't you? Yeah, for
Yeah.
goalkeeper, your peak.
And then right back, Matty Cash went off for Poland last night with an injury. We don't know how bad it is yet, so we don't know if he's going to play. Pau Torres hasn't been anywhere near as good as what he was the first season he came in for us. Tyro Mings and Ezri Konza are our best two partnership. Those two remind me of Ferdinand and Vidic for United back in the day.
I like Konza. Yeah.
Konza going forward, Mings just sits at the back, just sits there in front of it. Kind of like what Vidic and Ferdinand did. Vidic just sat there, Ferdinand moved forward. It works. On the left, you got Luca Digne, who I know you're not the biggest fan of Luca Digne,
No,
but you've got to admit,
I love Luca Digne. Listen, it wasn't him. He got forced up by that fat Spanish
yeah,
waiter. He
but
didn't want to go.
you know yourself how good he is with that left foot, how
Yeah,
good he can be.
his defending is debatable at times, but going forward,
It's improved. Yeah, it's improved a lot since he's come to Villa. Because they did work a lot with his defending. Ian Matson, he's young, he's still learning. Next few seasons, he will replace Luca Digne. We all know that. I think Luca Digne knows that. They do a lot of training together. So I think if right back we've still got Garcia, he's still there. Is he the best replacement for Matty Cash? Going forward, probably. Defensively, no. So I can see if Matty Cash is out, he's going to push Ezri Konza out onto the right, Pau Torres and Mings in the middle, or he may play Bogard out on the right or central.
Let's wait on Winston's son. Is he getting game time now? Winston Bogard's son, Lamar Bogard, isn't it?
Yeah, he signed a new contract, didn't he? He had some big teams looking at him.
He's a good little player. I'd keep an eye on him. You've got quite a lot of good youth players coming through, to be fair.
Yeah.
But no, it's a difficult.
I mean, we've just let a very good right back go. Well, he's gone out on loan, Tristan Rowe.
Yeah,
very good young right back, and I think if they knew, obviously you can't tell, but if they knew something was going to happen to Matty Cash, I don't think they would have let him go out on loan. There is what they do with a lot of the youngsters is they put an emergency recall clause in their contracts. So I think if something is to happen, I know they'll say that they've got enough cover there, but Konza's not a right back anymore.
No, it's just
same as O'Brien for you. He's a centre half. Bogard, centre half or defensive midfield. He played a couple of games for his defensive midfield last season, and he did amazing for us. He literally just sits in front of the back four, and he's kind of like a sweeper, the old style sweeper. But yeah, I think this weekend, especially at your place, it's going to be a scary game for us.
Yeah, but you always come and give us a game. And to be fair, if we're looking at the last couple of games, when you've come to our place, so obviously not Bramley Moore because it's your first time, but the last couple of times you've come to Goodison, you've beaten us or you've got a draw, and you've outplayed us. I'd say Martinez saved you a fair few times when when Dunk took over, and you literally took a fucking all that positive right out of his arse.
Yeah, but so far this season, I know it's only 3 games in, but you lot are a different kettle of fish this season so far.
I'd say, in the last 2, like I said, going back is still defensively is what's worrying me. But I'm thinking, obviously, David would have seen David Moyes. I don't know why am I calling him David? He's not my mate. David Moyes. David Moyes. David, could you help me here, please? Have you looked at this defense? But he would have looked at the Wolves game and the goals conceded.
Yeah.
And literally hammered home, because that David Moyes would have hammered home in that. He prides himself on defensive, tactics. So you would hope that would be, in place. That we haven't had many players that have gone international duty this 2 weeks. We haven't had that many players go. So there would have been a lot of good time to spend on the training ground and craft what they're planning, to shut you lot down.
I think really your back, your back four especially. I think is it only really Pickford that's gone, isn't it?
Yeah, Pickford. I think Mikalenko pulled out. I don't know if Jake O'Brien went with Republic of Ireland. I don't know. If he might have done. I don't know actually. Yeah, because they would have been qualifiers, so surely would have gone.
Yeah.
Obviously, Tarkowski never gets picked for England because they overlook him every fucking time.
Yeah, because he goes to the fridge.
And no one looks at Michael Keane. Look at it now. Obviously, Jackie didn't go, did he? Njai.
No.
Njai would have gone. Roll obviously wouldn't have been in the German. He would have been the under-21s. Idrissa Gueye.
Hall, I don't think went.
Don't think he got picked. Beto.
Bless him.
Hey, Beto is. You keep an eye on him, because if you don't, he will score, and then he'll miss about 20 chances, but he will score. He'll get one. He will. He's like a bloody headless chicken at times. But I do love him. I do love the passion, and I do love, he does want to do well.
Yeah.
And what I'll say about Beto, when he's got the ball to his feet and he's running at the goal against someone like Calvert-Lewin, I could safely give you £100 to say that Beto is putting that in the net, and Calvert-Lewin's missing. He was better with ball to feet. He should be better with the head, with the size of him, but he does manage to put goals away. Barry's turn will come. He's still a young lad. He's raw, and you can see
very good young talent. Him.
Yeah, and you can see where he'll go eventually. He hasn't really managed to settle at a team, as he's gone from one team to another. So and it's a big jump coming to the Premier League from La Liga anyway.
Yeah,
but if I pushes towards the end of the show and we talk about predictions, I'm happy to go first, unless you want to go first.
I'd love a Villa win, but I'd probably go with 1-1 draw, if not 2-1 to you lot.
Score is
going on confidence and everything. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm going off. I'd love Villa to win, but it'd either be a draw or it'd be 2-1 to you lot.
Yeah, I've got 2-1 myself, but if I want to be cheeky, I was going to go 3-1. But that also would depend on, again, what kind of Villa we're up against, and if you are coming up as frail as you are, or you coming up and you give us a game, and obviously we managed to get the 2 to your 1, but I think 2-1 is probably the more scoreline for most people and most pundits would go if they're going for an Everton win. It'd either be 2-1 or 1-1. Brady, I can't see it. I can't see us losing to you, but then weird things do happen. But I think it'd either be we'll win 2-1 or we'll draw 1-1. I think that's where really realistically I'm at in my head as well.
Yeah.
But I would like a 3-1, and then I can send you a nice arse picture of my arse saying, haha, for all those fucking horrible couple of seasons we've had against Stuart Goodison, and you've taken deflated Everton teams who've come up with like I said, Duncan Ferguson and all that rage and ready to fucking bounce back, and you took all that away from us. And especially with fucking Buendia scoring headers in corners against us, and he's the smallest fucking man on the pitch. Baffling, absolutely baffling. But on that note, thank you very much for these 2 episodes. I'm sure me and you will be back at some point. I do obviously want to push on this Merlin Premier League sticker book episode I want to do. It's something I'm really keen on getting done, and I just feel like our listeners or viewers would love an episode if we talked about whoever wants to join me in our little group, football here and now, football then and now, just to talk about your experiences of being, buying the sticker books, the shinies, and how exciting it was. People talk about the 90s with Pokemon cards, Brady, and Pogs.
The
But I
swap
remember,
meets that they used to have in Venue Cymru in Llandudno for them.
all the boxes, yeah. I just want to have a lovely fucking reminisce on the shinies you've packed. The prices of the stickers that we would have paid comparison to what you would get now in, like, I think, is it Match Attack sticker books? I don't know if Merlin do them anymore, do they?
20. You can still get them. I used to pay 25p a pack. I think it was.
It was something like that, wasn't it? That was something. Obviously, we're not going into it now.
Yeah.
But in the next couple of weeks, I'm on getting Stuart to talk to Omega Luke, massive football manager, TikToker, YouTuber. Trying to get him on so we can have a discussion about the new football manager, because that looks absolutely amazing. And for someone like me who's never left the game since 95, so that's something we've got up and coming. And like I said, after that, we can go back and we can talk. We'll get someone else on with us, and we can reminisce on the Merlin Premier League sticker books. I just feel like people will engage with that, because it's history, and for the 90s kids, that was our school time thing.
I'll see if I can dig one out. I'm sure my mum's got some up in the loft.
I don't think I have, but I'll get pictures of the ones I did have. But on that note, anyway, thank you very much for joining me and Brady for Football Then and Now's Everton versus Aston Villa preview. We hope you enjoy the game. I won't, because I'll be making coffees when the game's on, so I'll be extra stressed. But I'll see you most likely next week, and whatever means Stuart have cooked up ready, and Brady will be somewhere down the line. He'll be back here. So from me to Brady, see you next time.
Take care.
Football Then and Now, a fun look at football nostalgia and the modern game intertwined.